hopping or doing something like that, then there's nothing else you can do. There's no other manoeuvres.
Mostly that the key and lead conditions or even the satellite venues have dictated the tactics, but there was I see Felix had an OTP today against James. Yeah, so he's ramped it up and done something different.
Are these the conditions that you would consider popping in, Pete, or is it just not? It's difficult enough of its own accord that it's not.
I did think during the week that I would see a little bit more popping used, but it hasn't rolled that way. Everybody's concentrating on a leave. You want leaves that you also can finish on, and as I say, I think the most important thing is the distance of the shot.
Yeah.
With the slight vagrancy of the lawn, while the popping leave.
I did see.
Yards.
I saw Paddy attempt a couple of pops against Stephen Mulliner when I was sharing a lawn with them, but that's the only time I've seen it attempted.
There's more the mandatory ones where someone has broken down either on hoop 2 or 3, and there's not much risk to put them through hoop 3 and just stretch it. And I haven't seen probably that as much as I thought I would. I think it's quite a strong line of play.
All right, well, let's start updating some of these scores. See if I can get these round the right way. Who knows what will happen?
Sharif's got some, tech-looking gear up there.
Yes, a very long focus lens. Well, every break on this lawn, Pete, on lawn 4, by the time the players have got to hoop 3, we've had the classic textbook layout of the pivot and the pioneer and taking croquet in front of hoop 3. So this may not be any exception to that. If that red is a perfect pioneer for hoop 4, which it is, and if the yellow is put into a nice pivot position and the blue is in front, then we will, every single time someone's been on this channel, well, we're very lucky to have a 4th game to watch here this afternoon.
Australian spectators will be wanting a 5th.
They'll be wanting a 5th. And great to see Ed clawing back in that game, and it was an intriguing ending, and it would have been great to have focused on it, but the side of Matthew going through to the final against Robert was something we had to stay with. And Ed got that little swagger in his step now, that little spring that he has when he's feeling good about the shots that he's making. Regulation stuff, loading 5. Getting a rush on the pivot to wherever he wants to put it.
He was very confident before the event, Edward. I was talking to him.
He was.
About his form and bits and pieces, and he said he thinks it's career best form. He came into this event, and he hasn't been playing a lot. He's been practicing hard.
Yep.
Hasn't been playing that many events, but so I said to him, is it better form than when you won the New Zealand Open a couple of years ago and went on to the Worlds? And he said, yep, I'm playing a lot more.
That's right.
Confident and smooth than that. And he said, you know what? It's mostly down to playing in the World GC Teams event. He said it got the roquet just fine tuned, and he's feeling pretty good.
Well, I was eavesdropping on that conversation, Pete, and I picked up very clearly how confident Ed felt, how good he was feeling about his game, and how he, he'd obviously learnt a lot from his previous experiences, and certainly if he was to come back from 2-0 down here against Reg, it would be an incredible achievement. Flags all limp in the distance, so clearly the wind has dropped substantially. Sun out, very pleasant, cool, but sunny day. Just taking this slow and steady, 6 inches in front of every hoop.
Yeah, there's not a great deal of commentator on it.
No,
It's much tight control.
It's very, very, very tight, and that's of course what he needs at this stage. He'd be excited about his last win, and particularly about cracking into the peg.
Yeah, and the slight errors near the end of that other game didn't cost him the game. He was able to restore it by
it could have been very, very costly. Yes, it was funny, wasn't it? After he'd done so well, he just
two shots.
underhit 2 shots. Well, his blue Pioneer at one back is a little bit west, perhaps, but certainly won't be any concerned about that at all.
I haven't seen the Australian shirts from distance, but they're a smart-looking shirt with the bottle green collar and
they are
the coat of arms and the event underneath it.
They're very good.
Australia on the back, they stand out well.
They do. They're
nice crisp white.
They're nice and classy.
Yeah, he's donning the old Australian cap rather than the new one, but most of them are finding them a little bit more comfortable fit than the new ones.
Little twist of his shoulders there, sort of after that shot. Again, 6 inches in front. Taking his time.
You can see the breeze. That's a lot.
Okay. Certainly got up. Look at that.
Yeah,
yeah. We've gone from nothing to the flags fluttering. So amazing. Well, this is a regulation load of 2-back, but it's going to be with the opposition ball, Pete. The red ball is going to 2-back.
Yes, but it was Edward hasn't been sitting in his house, so it's not too much of a priority. He'll just switch these balls around, so that's yellow going to 3-back, setting it over diagonal spread or some sort of cross peg leg.
Nice view of the cross.
Unless he does the Alan Walsh ENSL ball.
Well, that's the Ansel.
The Ansel, yeah. I wasn't going to say the Ansel.
Well,
I did. I found Jeff Newcomb and Peter Ross, WA and Tasmania, sitting out on the balcony just here, and I said, "Come and join the commentary team, so we give viewers a different voice." But don't look like they're taking up the offers yet.
So Head through one back.
Yep. This is pivoty ball, and then we'll get yellow to 3 back. Back in position.
Yep. So his own ball going towards the centre. And the yellow will be hit to 3 back, and we'll be seeing Reg coming out to ponder whatever lift shot Ed leaves him.
Yellow just travelling a bit further than he probably thought there. It just needs a little few good tidy up shots after this week.
Ooh, gosh. I mean, I know that was perfectly fine. For a moment, it just looked as if the black ball had...
yeah, it's difficult on the camera, but it's looking at the lawn, it's quite a nice place.
Yeah, oh, it's a nice place.
Deliberately cut that away there to give him a bit of room to get a rush going.
Gosh, perspective is a frightening thing sometimes.
Well, he's coming in from an angle on the hoop, so he's still got to take a care shot.
Yeah. Doesn't try and baby that through, just make sure of it. Leaves himself a 3-yarder, which will rush up to the peg. Yeah, so because his yellow ball was a little bit east of 3 back, he's decided to rush that blue ball over to the eastern boundary so that he can approach that yellow with a croquet shot. Otherwise he might have just left the blue ball in the centre and taken off to it. In front.
So we'll have at least three finals here tomorrow. It'll be obviously the World Championship final, but we'll have a bowl final, and we know Samir Patel was in that final, and we're just waiting to see who comes out of Ian and Demerg and Chris Schilling. But they're only one game into their best of 3, so a little bit of time before we find out the winner of that. And we'll check the plate results and the plate knockout. We have Aiken Hakes from New Zealand getting over Brian Cumming 2 straight. So we have Aiken in a final, and we're waiting to find out the winner of Alan Gerard. Sorry if I got your name pronunciation wrong. And Stephen Morgan, and Alana's one game up.
Okay. Well, Ed looking for the spot here to wire Reg across the peg. And
a new event, James Steve beaten Felix Webby 2 straight. That's well done, James. And the shield, what's happening in the shield? That will be between Dominic Nuns and Stephen Mulliner. So well done to both of those players. Stephen with a convincing win over Stephen Forster, and a good win for Dominic Nuns and 3 over Ben Rothman. So that's
very good.
Good stuff.
Yep.
So all the best to all those players tomorrow. That'll be an exciting day.
So Ed just finishing his break, Pete.
Yeah.
He didn't really take any extra look at where he'd put the red ball. I think he was very confident
Pretty
that he'd
happy
got it
with
on the spot
It'll
that
be a
was
nice flat,
fully
flat
wide.
lead.
It's very wide. It's very flat. So
Yep. And let Reg contend with that curly boundary again.
he's been listening to you about making sure you get the distance at the maximum level. And another nice confidence boosting, nerve settling break there from Ed. Be very, very happy with that. Question is, has Reg got sufficient intel from his previous?
Well, it was on line for most of the way,
Yeah.
and these are certainly shorter than that other shot he had.
So
it didn't move till it got past.
I don't know whether you remember, Pete,
Midpoint.
that when the players were warming up this morning, we were commenting on the fact that Reg's warm-up routine focused a lot on the boundaries.
Yeah.
And,
So he's going to always
he
think
put he put a lot of work into working out the tilt of this particular boundary.
And it was a good camera shot there from Blake to show that the balls are well and truly tied up.
Yep. There's a lovely straight line between those, and certainly no way Reg could swing his mallet on that red ball without doing what he's done now, which is to take it away from there and move it to corner 3. So, Reg's last shot down here, was it a double? Not quite on corner 3, Pete. That's
No.
presumably because that blue isn't quite on the yard line, but
Yeah.
that's what I'm guessing.
I just found a patch of grass and I don't know, it's moving it on a bit.
No. Okay, so I'll just mark that in just to be sure. Yeah. Adjusting the cap. He always seems to find that it fits, doesn't he? Yeah, with the wrong sized cap that he brings out. So concentration, normal routine, normal thoughts going through the head. Everything played at the rate that he wants it to be played at.
Yeah, Reg is used to this and the high pressure. Blake's probably 4 to 5 metres away, and some players not used to it.
Yeah, well, Reg has been filmed lots of times. He's in the golf croquet games he's played, and his whole career he would have seen the introduction of a lot of the video stuff. I would imagine they're in the tight arena of the Egyptian GC circuit.
Yeah.
They'd be closer than that. So Reg now
we tilt up.
Oh, he's missed it this time.
He's allowed for the drift, and,
Yeah.
and it just didn't quite come in soon enough.
So, well, what a story this will be if Ed can triple. He'll have practiced this many hundreds of times, executed it many hundreds of times from this position, the classic starting position.
Can't see Edward about. He might have gone for a wander.
Yeah, he's
normally probably out.
normally
That blue ball
springing out
before
there.
Reg
Yeah,
is,
yeah. No,
like
he's
that red
he's now emerging
He's
from the back of the
emerged,
shed.
Yeah.
And
He's been
emerging with...
watching Dwayne out there on the other court, I think.
Right.
Edward is one of those players that finds it quite relaxing to have a wander and chat away and
Yeah.
interact with the other players while he's in a high tense match, whereas some players will sit by themselves and want zero distraction. It relaxes Ed to...
All right, so very clear in his mind what he has to do here. Knock that black over towards the yellow. And then get the rush on the yellow to make hoop 1. Seems okay.
Yep.
Well, he knows it's in his hands now. He knows that a 5th game is now his, if he can do what he does best. He doesn't have to rely on Reg missing another shot. He's got it all to make himself. Yellow. Well, you know what, Pete? The courts must have quickened up quite a lot, because that yellow took an age to get down there. I think there's a fair amount more speed on these now than there was this morning. And
it's in a good position to hoop and run.
yes, yes. So
Russell in the one design.
And there it is.
We often talk about the 4 centre courts here in Kenley, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and court 2 is generally the trickiest of them all, and we use it a lot of times for the finals, and it's noticeable again that the match on there is still the one that's still going with Chris and Ian. Nothing to do with the speed of the players, more the lawn.
Yeah, no, it is a very challenging lawn, that one.
Whereas lawn 4, the one Edward is on, is probably the pick of the 4 of flatness and evenness of pace.
And that's a very nice shot by Ed.
And lawn 1 and 3, you've got just a couple of little wee tricky hoops here and there that you've got to contend with, but nothing like lawn 2. So far, very good and tight, isn't it?
It is. And this is
2 hoops he's run have been from 6 odd inches, and he's got a good tight load at 3.
Very good load at 3.
This ball at hoop 4 sometime after hoop 3.
So it means it makes it easy for him to play this load down to 4, getting on that yellow ball there. Plenty of landing area on the western side of the yellow. Pete, would you hit this black a bit past hoop 4, knowing that the blue is in the red is in corner 4?
Yeah, it's in textbook type of croquet, you want to be able to
And he hasn't.
get it out to the east of him, but it's more of just, while it's important to have that pioneer up at 4 in a good spot that you can play some sort of shot, probably it's more important to make sure you get close to the hoops. So dealing with hoop 3 first, and that's what he's done. He's played a croquet shot that gave him a slight little tap into hoop 3, and if you're not dealing with the red before hoop 4, you can deal with it all sliding away.
Ed. Oh dear. Oh dear.
Might not be runnable.
I mean,
Well, we won't have to worry about red. Unless obviously
definitely cross with himself
he
here.
hits it now.
Oh
but-
dear. That's
Which I don't think he'll be doing.
that does not look runnable from there, from that side angle.
It looked like he pushed yellow a bit, so maybe he was looking for the
Yeah.
rush down there because of the short black ball load. So he just pushed it a little bit further than ideal.
Well, now he's got to think of what to do. So he has left yellow and black about 14 yards away from each other. And red is in corner 4, maybe about.
I think he's got some little hop jump shot in him here.
I think this would be a very impetuous move. It's just incredibly tight. And
What length Roquet is red faced with? Oh, they're not. Well, they're not gimmies, are they?
they're not gimmies, but
So-
well, but and yet if he messes this up, if he was to take that on, no, he's
It looks like
decided
he
to
hasn't got the
retreat.
swing
is
to
the
get into
best
corner
for
3,
him.
so he's
Yeah.
going to corner 2.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's all
So
fine.
there we go. So
Just about, which is good. It's a good protection shot on red through black. So it'll be probably yellow through black. Are we thinking?
all right. So
Yellow
red
through
will
red.
take a sip of water. He'll stand up, survey the scene, and he's got yellow onto black or red onto black, and of course red onto black would, if it missed,
Yeah, straight there. So we're not probably seeing that
no.
one.
So
Yeah, I think it's yellow at black or yellow at red.
yellow at red is possible, but then he, it's the longest of the shots, and it would give Ed a chance at what would probably be a double in the corner.
Yeah, but there is a
But
break with the hit.
Yeah.
Whereas hitting the black, you're really
Yeah.
just taking the control of the lawn, which is just as important sometimes.
Yeah. So what would you do?
Oh, I don't know. I think it's different against every game or different every opponent, and yourself, what you're shooting like.
Yeah, but assuming you're Reg here and you're playing Ed, then or you're you and you're playing Ed, you yellow at black.
It's just yellow and break's more or less giving you another shot straight away again. Yellow at red is a definite hit. Not a definite break, but an opportunity for
Yeah.
an okay break.
Yeah, no, it is, isn't it? Because their black is
Yeah.
a good
And it's-
pioneer for him for hoop 1.
And if he does misses, yes, Edward's still got to hit, and it's playing with the ball that's on 1 rather than 3. So I think Red will be taking this yellow at red.
Yep, he's certainly shaping for that. We're going through the normal routine. Yeah, just adjusting that cap. It still fits Reg. Now,
Oh, didn't notice the comment there. Hello, Brett Rogers. Good to hear from you. So,
okay. Important shot for Reg. Yellow at red.
it's not a bad shot.
And
It's centre
that's a
ball.
pretty good shot. Yep. Yep. Very nice shot by Reg, and a chance now to get a break going of his own. Ed 2 advanced for a TPO here?
No, but
How,
we haven't seen. No, that's not going to be on the cards.
No.
I don't think so. There's going
No,
no,
but
I
how
don't
far,
know the last
in
TPO
general,
I've seen. As I say, getting that black ball through hoop threes and 4 if possible is not a bad thing. The blue ball through hoop 3 and 4.
Yeah, okay.
He is 2-1 up, isn't he? Again, he may
Yeah.
just make a break and concentrate on the left.
Yep.
Just not extending himself too far past what's required.
No, if he does what you'd recommend and just leaves Ed an 18-yarder at the end of this 9, then that's a very strong position.
Even blue through hoop 3 would be handy.
Reg, hands a little bit further down the mallet than for previous shots.
Trolled that well.
And
A little bit of a cut on the rush, but
the red ball.
easily enough done.
Red ball very nicely up at hoop 2 on the western side. Remember, Ed's ball is in corner 2. Reg about 3 yards southwest of hoop 1, approaching. Be able to get that black ball a long way up the lawn. And the yellow has drifted a little bit to the right there. There's, I think,
Running it from much the same spot. No, that's worse than Ed's.
Do you reckon that's wet?
Yeah.
I don't.
I mean, it's difficult from these camera angles, but
There,
wow,
that doesn't. That
oh,
okay.
well, it looks better from
it looks better from here. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks that
Yeah,
looks
yeah.
makeable. Not easy. It's the sort of thing that can easily lead to a hampered shot, which of course, because the black ball has been pushed up a fair way,
Yep. Yes.
could be costly.
Good point, Gareth. He needs to get it well through, doesn't he?
Yeah. So, certainly intending that. And the only thing to make any progress there was the clip. The ball has ended up plumb in front of the hoop.
I think it shows the trickiness of the lawn, seeing it sped up a little bit.
It did. I mean, we're definitely looking at
the lines of player just making breaks and leaves rather than too much trickery.
All right, so Ed has a chance to get back on with that blue ball. The blue ball that drifted at 3 has a chance to make a roquet on the red at hoop 2.
The red's towards hoop 2, is it? So a shot
Yes.
about 8, 9 yards. There it is.
Yeah,
coming to
yeah,
camera
yeah.
now.
So it's a little. It's less. It's about 7 yards probably. It's a. Oh, Ed! Oh dear, 7-yarder missed into the corner, and Reg really escapes there because not only
He's got
did
a
Ed
ball at
miss
2
that,
and
but
a,
he's
and a
got
reception ball,
reception
and he
ball,
popped
and
through
he
one.
and his clanging of hoop 1 left him plumb in front of hoop 1. So, oh dear. Well, we saw Robbie miss a 7-yarder earlier, and we've now seen Ed do the same thing. Not sure by how much it missed, but
No, he looked at the face of his mallet as he walked past.
Yeah.
He wasn't. He was happy with the contact.
well, that's a great let off for Reg and a great shame for Ed. Reg with a laid out lawn in front of him now. I suppose it was one way of straightening up the yellow, wasn't it?
I don't think there's no difficulty in this yellow hoop run. I know it's on a slight angle, but I think Reg is just taking his time to survey what's laid out in front of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's surprising really because it seems like a very obvious.
No, there may be more angle than we think, but I saw him yesterday after the one error he made at hoop 6. And James missed straight away. He took a long time over the turns.
Yeah.
But there is some.
There's some angle, isn't there?
Yep.
There's some angle there.
Yep.
Yeah, it didn't. It wasn't obvious when we first started talking about it. Certainly from the commentary box here, it looks really nicely in front. But yeah, that's more angular and require a little bit of gardening, a little bit of tamping down and familiarisation with the hoop. Yeah. No, I hadn't realised that wasn't just a regulation shot. But interesting that he's going through his pre-shot routine from in a line with the hoop and not in line with the ball and the hoop.